When children arrive and depart by school bus, teaming with the bus driver is imperative. Someone should be performing a visual walkthrough where they're scanning and counting the number of early learning children that are on the bus before the children are allowed to leave their seats. Each bus driver must have a system for accounting for every child that gets on the bus, and that system should include knowing the number of children that were picked up on their route. The receiving staff at the site should ask for that number, and then as the children step off the bus, they scan and count in order to verify the number that was communicated by the driver. When all of the children are off the bus, there must be a system in place for visually checking that all children are off of the bus, and all staff associated with the program must be able to describe and demonstrate that system. The system can include early learning staff boarding the bus to check under each seat in each row, or it could be the early learning staff observing that the bus driver moves through the bus, checking under each seat in each row. So, okay, you've accounted for all the children that were on the bus, and now they're off and on their way to the classroom. So what about the child that usually rides the bus but wasn't one of the riders today? If you've already heard from the family and you've documented their message, then your work is done. You know that the child did not get on the bus. And if the driver tells you that the parent came out to the bus to let them know the child is sick and wouldn't be at school, then you know the child didn't get on the bus. So what happens when you've not received word from the family that the child will be absent that day? In that situation, one of the early learning staff members should immediately call the transportation department to verify that the child was not transported on any of their vehicles. The next call will be to the family to check on the status of that child. And the child is considered unaccounted for until you've reached the parent and confirmed the absence. So, at the end of the day, this whole process happens in reverse. The early learning staff member scans and counts and reports the number of children to the driver, and once the children are seated and buckled, the driver performs a visual walkthrough to count the children and then reports that number back to the early learning staff person. If the number is verified, then the bus is ready to depart. Wave goodbye to the kids and say, see you tomorrow. So when children are transported to and from the program by parents or guardians, early learning staff are required to ensure that they've communicated with families about their responsibilities for supervising the children before and after they sign the children into the program and they've signed them out. Make sure that all of the responsibilities are clarified with the families, especially for the time period after the parent or guardian has signed the child out, but they're still on early learning property.